wonderful responses yesterday during the chat. This will be an interactive session, so I request all of you to also keep interacting once in a while in between. Okay, so before we begin, I will tell you something about this course. Okay, so this course is called Discover Yourself. It is a 6-session course. It will be conducted in 6 weeks, starting from today being the first week. Each week, the session will be for about 1 to 1.5 hours, depending on the question and answers and the interaction. And my request is, if you want to make the best out of this course, please be present for all the 6 sessions, because one session leads to the next session. Okay, you attend today's session, you'll get some questions. These questions will be answered in the next session. So that's how every session is interrelated. Okay, so I will tell you something about this course. I will share a presentation with you. Can you see the presentation? Tell me yes when you could see the presentation.
No, ma'am.
You're not able to see still? Yeah. 1 second. Yes. So this is the 6-session course. This has, are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
You're able to see. Wonderful. So this is the course, and this course has been designed by Radhesham Das ji, whom you see here in this picture. He's an MTech from IIT. He's a very famous person in Pune. He's also the president of a temple, author of a great book called Discover Yourself, and many, many books. He's a director of Voice, Vedic Oasis for Inspiration, Culture, and Education. Whatever lectures you have been hearing even in the past are a product of this particular group called Voice. He's also a top ranker in his MTech at IIT. He worked with many famous MNCs. He's a youth counselor, and he has even received many international awards, yeah, for his innovation in youth outreach programs. He has even received Global Excellency Awards. So this particular course that we are doing is created and designed by Radhesham Das ji. And this course is being delivered in many, many premier institutions like the IIMs, like the IITs, yeah, at the AIMS and JIPMER, AFMC, many such places. Because this course is especially meant to nourish the spiritual quotient, especially in the youngsters, which is so important for a bright leadership of tomorrow. So as you all have expressed yesterday what you're expecting from the course, and most of it is to build in your own self-esteem, your self-confidence. So certainly my sincere prayers and wishes that this course will help you not just in that, but in many, many ways in your life. Okay, so I wish you all the best, and let us begin our journey. Yeah, so today's session 1 is Mastermind Behind the Mysterious Universe. So I suggest if all of you have a notebook and a pen, you all can take notes. Okay. Yeah, session 1 is Mastermind Behind the Mysterious Universe. Be attentive. I'll ask you questions towards the end of the class. Yes. So what is the essence of this session? This session we are going to discuss about how, by observing the world around us with a scientific eye, how we can see the hand of a supreme intelligent designer. So basically, this session is going to teach us that, any day when you just go out on your terrace or you're sitting outside of your house and you look at the beautiful starlit sky, you just see so many stars and the moon, or you see the wonderful nature around us with the cool breezes, all, the rainfall. Whenever you see the beauty of nature, something comes from within your heart. Who created all this? Isn't this so beautiful? Are the stars just sparkling on their own? What's beyond the sky? Is there anything beyond the sky? Such doubts do cross our mind. Did they ever? Did you ever get such doubts in your life? Yes, Lahari or Paushya, Sindhuja, yes. Yes, anybody got such doubts? Somebody speaking? Amma, you got my question? Kavya, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Everyone is keeping in the chat box.
Acha, you're putting in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me see the chat box now. One sec. How do I see the chat box? Can any of you speak? Kavya, can you read what's there on the chat box?
It is written only yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, okay. So you all get such doubts. Wonderful. Well, feel free to speak. This is, a very friendly and it's not a very formal session. Miku, whatever you want to speak, you can speak. Okay? Be free. So we do get these doubts. So whenever we get such doubts, we think that, okay, it's not related and we just brush it aside. Okay? But please know that these doubts are very, very important to answer because they are directly related to our spiritual quotient. And when our spiritual quotient is nourished, it is directly related to our well-being. See, as doctors, we all work for the well-being, right? So the real well-being is something when we work holistically from within. And answering these questions and queries around us, they do help us to discover our own self, our relationship with the nature, our responsibility towards the nature, and our role and function in this universe. These are some great queries to be answered. So that is what we are going to start with today. Who is the mastermind behind this mysterious universe? So in this, we have few sections. Section 1 is your observation. Yeah. Let's try to observe with a scientific eye the nature around us. And second is about the scientist's observation. Yeah, I'll give you some wonderful examples of great scientists like Isaac Newton, Heisenberg. You all have, I think, Monanemi neat rasar kada. In chemistry, you might have come across this, right? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Did you get that? Bohr's atomic model. You had Bohr's atomic model this time in chemistry? Okay, somebody put it in the chat. What is written in the chat, Kavya?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to observe all that. What statements these very famous scientists have made. We will see that. Then we will go to $1 million question. There will be an activity if you have time, and we will end with what is our prime duty. Yes, we will start with your observation. Okay. So the question that comes is there any person behind this whole existence, or is it just existing randomly? This is the sun shining on its own, the stars shining on its own, or is this creation running on its own, or is there a person behind? This is all about knowing God in a scientific way. Right from our childhood, we did know about God, but it's more in a sentimental way. That is, we're following the traditions that has been given to us by our parents or grandparents, or by observation of the culture around us. It just became a part of us, but we have never taken time to inquire in a scientific way whether is there truly a god that is existing and who is running the universal governance from behind, or is it just a belief of everyone? So let's observe with a scientific eye today. So the question is, who creates and maintains this beautiful and harmonious universe? Your observation. To make your understanding simple, today's session in your observation will be A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay? 6 ways of observing the universe. So what are the 6 ways? A, B, C, D, E, and F. What does A stands for? A stands for artistry. So when you look at the world around you, yeah, minti baite, whenever you go out sometimes, you just look at a plant. Minti baite, maybe, there is a Nuru Varahala Pula Chettu, or let's say a Nandivardhanan Chettu. If you just take a close look at even the flower, it is such a beautiful artistry, right? Like even as biology students, you might have drawn many diagrams, especially in your +1 and +2 standard, making records. When I used to draw very well. I had earlier, when I was in my 11th and 12th standard, not only my records, I used to draw the records of all my friends also, just because I was good at drawing. So there is so much of artistry in the universe around us that you can observe, be it a beautiful flower, or the colors of the fruit, or the sunrise or the sunset. When you just go out of your house and you see the sunset in the beautiful crimson sky, you see so many beautiful shades. Exactly sunset time లో మీరు ఒకసారి వెళ్ళి ఎప్పుడన్నా ఆకాశం చూసినప్పుడు, you just examine the shades. Any beautiful shades, and multiple colors come up. Bluish hue ఉంటుంది, purplish ఉంటుంది, crimson ఉంటుంది, reddish ఉంటుంది, orange, and the mixture of colors. It takes a artistic eye to admire this beauty. So yeah, A for artistry. Behind artistry, there is an artist. We'll try to look at that. B for beautiful organization. Yeah, we will get into the details of each of this when I show you the slides. A for artistry, B for beautiful organization, C for creation. Yeah, behind the creation is a creator. D for design. Behind design is a designer. E for energy. Behind the energy is the energetic. And finally, F stands for flawless laws. Yeah, behind the laws, the flawless laws, is the lawmaker. So this is the A, B, C, D, F, E, F of the entire observation that we are going to make about the universe around us.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Not audible?
Now, okay.
Now, okay? Okay. So A, B, C, D, E, F. This is the observation that we are going to make of the entire universe around us. So why are we starting with observing the universe around us? This is the process of education. The process of education is you learn from the known, you go to the unknown. From something that is concrete, you reach the abstract. Yeah, always begin with the known. From the known, you try to understand the unknown. This is the way of genuine education. So that is why, by starting with our own surroundings, environment around us, we will try to understand something about that which is not visible and audible to us. So the observation here is given by A, B, C, D, E, F. So can somebody tell me what is the A, B, C, D, E, F? You can unmute and you can also switch on your video. I want to see your beautiful faces. Or if you're not comfortable, you can also just speak. What does A stand for? Yes, Madhushri.
Observing universe, madam.
Artistry. Excellent. Artistry. Yes.
Artist.
Yes. Behind artistry, there is an artist. Okay, we will see the details of this. A stands for artistry. What does B stand for?
Beautiful organization, ma'am.
Excellent. B stands for beautiful organization. And behind the beautiful organization is
Organizer.
organizer. Organizer. Wonderful. C. What does C stand for?
Creation.
Yes. Behind the creation is a creator.
Creator.
Excellent. What does D stand for?
Design.
Design. And behind design?
Designer.
Designer.
Designer. Right. And what does E stand for?
Energy.
Energy. And behind energy is?
Energy.
Energetic. Excellent. And what does F stand for?
Flawless laws.
Flawless laws. Behind the flawless laws is?
Lawmaker.
Lawmaker. Amazing, amazing. Very nice. Now, all the Mericos are especially famous for their infallible memory. They have very good memories. Great, wonderful. So that's the A, B, C, D, E, F, the details of which now I'm going to present to you through some videos and slides. Some of the videos I will try to also post it to you in the group. Okay, so first, behind the artistry is the artist. So, you know the first picture? How many of you know who's the first picture?
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa. Yeah, yeah, very famous, right? Very, very famous painting all over the world. And beside that, and all the pictures that you're seeing are drawn by some of the most famous artists of this world. Can you name one famous artist of India? Ravi Verma, excellent, yes. There's beautiful paintings of Ravi Verma ji in Mysore, Maharaja Palace. Very, very beautiful, exquisite paintings, amazing features. Yes, Ravi Verma is one of the great artists of India. Inka? Indian famous artists. Remember any more? Bapu, yes. He has a very unique way of art. Unique and special. Yes, very, very beautiful artistic ways. M.F. Hussain ji, yes. These are all the very famous artists of India. So whenever you see this beautiful painting, you know, if a person has an artistic mind, they go close to the painting and they try to see the signature. Who made this painting? And especially if you go to some art exhibitions and all, you know, you see the artistic paintings and you go to see who's a painter, isn't it? So behind the artist, I mean, all the art, there is an artist. So you also see so much of art in the nature. There is somebody has, there's a painting of beautiful woman. It didn't come on its own, right? There is somebody, an artist who painted that. Then there are also so many beautiful girls, just like each of you. Isn't that there is so much of artistry in how each and every, of your beautiful eyes or features are made? So behind that, who is the artist? Or even when you see the nature, the beautiful scenic mountains or the skies or the rivers, Who is the artist behind this? Yeah, these beautiful Niagara waterfalls. These are the Niagara waterfalls. Who is the artist behind it? Yeah, you see a beautiful lotus. You know, it is said that in this world, one of the most beautiful scene to behold, beautiful, yeah, and really beautiful scene to behold is on a full moon night to see a lotus blossom. That's one of the most beautiful scenes to behold. So behind that beautiful art, is there any artist behind? Or is it that it just came on its own? Yes, sometimes we make some beautiful paintings, and when somebody comes and asks, you made this, we take a lot of pride. Yeah, yeah, I made this. And we feel very happy also that somebody has recognized. So similarly, behind the art of this universe, is there an artist? That's your observation. And also, sometimes in our childhood or in our college or school time, we made a lot of craft work, a paper rose. Yeah. And we have shown it, or we have probably gifted it to somebody, and we're very happy to gift it as something that we have made, right? So behind the artificial rose, it is made by a person. So who made the real rose? Is it that it came on its own? How is it that a small seed, if you see the seed of a rose plant, if you smell it, do you actually get any fragrance of a rose plant? No. But you just put it in the soil. Yeah, the soil, of course, has no fragrance of a rose. You put it in the soil and you water it. There comes a small shoot, and then it grows into a plant, and then it produces flowers, rose flower. And you smell, it gives amazing fragrance. Where did this fragrance come from? That means somebody has embedded and programmed the fragrance of the rose flower within that small seed. So who programmed that? See, when we have our mobile in our hand, and you see the small internal chip designing is very, very famous. I mean, it's a very well paid job in the IITs, chip designing, because in that small chip of your mobile, the entire programming of your mobile is done. All the apps that you're using, all the sophisticated things that you're trying to function through this mobile, it's all designed in the chip. And there is some person who designed everything in that chip, right? It did not come on its own. So who programmed all these things in the seed? The fragrance of the rose flower, or the color of the rose flower, or the number of whorls. Manaki, I think in botany we have, right? Um, the number of whorls, the way the number of petals are designed, the arrangement of the whorls. Yeah. Okay. Some I think Fabaceae, Cisalpinaceae, ever 5 petals untai, something like that. Yes, somebody remembers? Kavya, they wrote something.
Inflorescence.
Inflorescence, yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, paper rose itself is behind that is a person who created. So what to speak of the flowers in nature with their delicateness? So behind the artistry, there is an artist. Now let's talk about the next thing. What's the next thing?
Beautiful organization.
Beautiful organization.
Yes, behind the beautiful organization is the organizer. Yeah, if you see the bees, the bees and the beehives colony, it's a big study in itself, how the bees are so well organized. Yeah, there is the queen bee, there is a worker bee, and it's also well organized. And the worker bee does not mate with any other uh, queen bee just like that. The queen bee, it lays its royal jelly on the eggs, and that's from where the bees come. It's a very organized, systematic structure of how these bees live in a colony, how everybody have their own roles to play. They have their own designations: who goes and gets the honey, who stays back at home, and who produces more bees. Their works are all designed, designated, and they function in such perfect organizations. Yeah, behind that beautiful organization is a beautiful is an organizer. So who is teaching them all that, what to do? Is there any trainer? Okay, so is it with the ants and the ant hills. And so is it with the spider web. Actually, there is a lot of research that has been done about the chemical substances that are a part of the spider web, because it is so strong. They try to decode the substance that is there in the web, and they try to reformulate and then make a similar substance, with the help of which they made the most toughest material with which they have started making cables and those things which are resistant to breakage, by doing a lot of study about the of the chemicals that are involved in the spider's web. So who taught the spider how to make the web? It's so perfectly made that the spider makes a web, and when the insect comes, it takes it, eats it, and then it's open for the next one and winds up its web after it finishes its job. And there is the silkworm. Yeah, how the silkworm weaves its cocoon. And these are the called Australian beavers. I will send you this video. It's a very interesting video. These beavers, they have such an amazing method of making colonies. Yeah, and they make these colonies in such a way that they stop the waters from flowing at some point of time. Yeah, I will send these videos also. So behind all these beautiful organization is an organizer. It can't happen without a person behind. Because for example, let's say I come to your college, SVU Medical College, and I see that everything is so well organized. Everything is, of course, if it's a hospital, if it's a different business altogether, but all the departments are functioning well. Yeah, the OP is running well. Everybody is taken on time, and it starts from 9 a.m. sharp. Yeah, and there are different departments that are totally working. So everything is so well organized. When is everything you see is well organized, the first question that comes to your mind is, oh, the management is very efficient, isn't it? Or if you come to your school, your college, and all the processes are happening in a very systematic way. Somebody to receive you at the reception, somebody to guide you to the next step, and somebody to collect the fees, somebody to explain you about the uh, various details of the institution. You feel very happy. Oh, this is all very well organized. So is it that everything is happening automatically? Your appreciation immediately goes to the top management. Oh, this must be running well. It is especially your parents will say this. The management is very good, very effective. And if it is on the wrong side, especially government institutions and all, something is not running well, they say, the government is like this, very bad governance. You start cursing the person behind. So behind the organization is the organizer. So why I'm telling you this is because at your college and all, when you conclude that behind this organization is an organizer, the same thing applies to the nature also. In the nature also, everything is very well organized. So who is the organizer behind nature? There should be a person. That's the next question. This is an observation 2. What's the observation 3?
Creation.
Creation. Yeah. So likewise, we see wonderful creations which are done by man. Yeah, I don't know if you're all fascinated by cars, but generally many people are. Yeah, some sleek cars are very trendy computers, watches. Some of you might like watches or architecture. Especially girls really like wonderful interiors, right? If you especially visit some places or some old palaces, you know, women generally immediately observe the interiors. How well is the place decorated? Or some, whenever you see a skyscraper building, someone has built it. They did not come on its own, right? And especially wonderful sculptures. Someone has carved it. They didn't come on its own. That means behind the creation, there is a creator. Like, for example, these are the seeds. Do you know what these seeds belong to which tree? Okay, tell me what is the tallest tree? We have learned this in our botany. What's the tallest tree?
Sequoia.
Yes, who said that? Who said that? What's your name?
Bhavana, ma'am.
Bhavna, yes. Sequoia dendron gigantica. That's the botanical name, right? So this is the seed of that plant. You know how much the seed measures? It measures exactly about, what do you see on the scale? About 1.5 centimeters. That's the measurement of the seed. And to what extent does this seed grow is the tree that you're seeing here, Sequoia dendron gigantica. It is so many kilometers in diameter. It is so many meters in diameter, and so much so a tunnel can be made through this tree. We have all heard about, learned about the tree, right? Sequoia dendron gigantica. Did we ever see it? See, this is how it looks like. It is so huge that a tunnel can be made out of it, and big trucks can pass through it. And it takes about 30 people standing with their hands, arms, holding each other like this to go around the entire tree. That's how huge that tree is. Yeah, it's 84 meters high and 29 meters in diameter. 29 meters, yeah, that's huge at the trunk. See, you look at that small person who's looking at the tree. It's how huge the tree is. And that big a tree came from the seed of, what's the size? What's the size of the tree?
1.5 centimeter.
Yes, 1.5 centimeters is the size of the seed. So that's actually the size of the tree, Sequoia gigantica. It's bigger than the space shuttle, as big, almost as big as the Statue of Liberty. Measuring up to 84 meters or 275 feet, almost 300 feet high. Yeah. And we're still talking about C for creation. And I think this is something that will really enthuse you about, to know about the study of brain. When you take a deeper look into the brain and its capacity, and especially its enormous memory power, the conscious, the subconscious mind, and its nitty-gritties. Okay, let's take brain as a gross matter. So certain details of the brain are really amazing. In fact, it is said that the brain has memory, the capacity to hold the memory that's equivalent to all the libraries of the world. Can you imagine this small brain and its capacity? That's the scientific research. It can store more information than all the libraries in the world. That's the capacity of the brain. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And of course, when you go to the micro world, we might have learned about the DNA. Yeah? So DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, it has 46 chromosomes and 2 meters of DNA. It's all wound with all the chromosomes. So 3 billion DNA subunits. Yeah, if you closely look at the DNA molecule, that itself speaks about the beautiful structure. How is it made? How is it that, these chromosomes are bound in such a perfect way to bring about a certain function of the cell? So we all have learned, and we drew the cells, and we drew the diagram of the entire, the cytoplasm, protoplasm, and the DNA structure, etc., etc. But did we ever think of who made this? Who made this structure? Then this is the lattice structure. This is a part of your organic chemistry. I don't know if you have, this has been a part of your syllabus. Please mute yourself. Yeah. So there are 14 different types of lattices. Like for example, the same carbon molecules, when it is arranged in a particular way, yeah, it is diamond. And the same molecule with little difference in its lattice structure is graphite. Imagine it's the same carbon molecules, the tetrahedron shape, and the other is the other shape. It's when this lattice structure is slightly changed, diamond becomes graphite. So who has done this excellent molecular structure? Yeah, and when you go into the macro world in the universe, so basically, so what we are seeing here is behind all these perfectly designed things, there is a designer. So who designed these lattices? Who designed the various molecules of the DNA? And who designed this cosmos? Yeah, what you're seeing here is that the Earth is moving at in an axis that is slightly tilted from 90 degrees. And because of this tilt, we are able to experience the different seasons. Yeah, it is, it's an 8-degree tilt, and it's revolving around. And because of this tilt alone, we are experiencing different seasons. And it is to be known, if the Earth were to be just a little more closer to sun, we all would have been burned to ashes. And if the same Earth were to be little more away from the sun, we all would have been frozen to ice. It's exactly at that particular distance where the temperature is optimum for the life to continue. So who put this Earth in the orbit at the exact position from the sun where life is made possible? It's a question. So I'll tell you a small story here at this point. So this is a real story. So there is this Isaac Newton. So Newton has prepared a model of the entire universe. Within there is a sun and the 9 planets. This is called the heliocentric model, yeah, where sun is the center and the 9 planets around are revolving around the sun. So he made the exact model, with the proportionate measurements of the Earth, the Mars, yeah, the Venus, Earth, the sun, all the 9 planets. What are they? Mars, Venus, Earth, Mercury, Jupiter, and all that, Neptune, Pluto, and all that. So, and he just made it in such a perfect way that in a room, he created this design of the sun and all these planets, and he made a model that all these planets are revolving around, in the small size. So it was a perfect model. So one of the friends of Newton came to visit him. So this friend of Newton, Newton took him to the room and he showed, see, look at this, I have made, look at this beautiful universe. And he saw it and he observed it. He was really very amazed at the precision with which he has designed this. And he said, it's amazing, very beautifully made. He said, you made this? So Newton said, no, I didn't make it. It came on its own. And then his friend said, you must be joking. How can it come its own? come on its own? You must have made it by really working hard for so many days and nights together. Newton said, no, no, it came out on its own. A friend said, no. Actually, this friend is an atheist. He didn't believe in God. So he said, no, how can it be possible? So Newton said, if you say that this tiny model cannot come on its own, there should be a person who made it. So what about the real universe, the real earth, real sun? How can it come on its own without a person making it? So this question really shook that atheistic friend. He thought, yes, it is true. When a model cannot come on its own, how can the real thing come on its own? There should be a person behind that too, whom probably I cannot see now. Yes. Yeah, and also there is something called Fibonacci. You can just Google this Fibonacci series. That is on this planet Earth, there are many things which form a whirl. That whirl is be it the florets of the pineapple or the shell, which form a particular series of numbers, which is called a Fibonacci series. And the one who have discovered this series have come to the conclusion that that kind of a series is also found in the carpals and metacarpals, the skeletons of your fingers. They're also formed in a particular sequence. The length of it, it follows a particular mathematical sequence. Actually, if somebody is interested in plastic surgery, right, going ahead, you also see that there is something called the golden proportion, which also is a derivative of a mathematical series. And these mathematical series are the same, be it in the whirl of as I said, conch means shankam, or in the galaxy, or in the pineapple, or you see it in the metacarpals, the same series follows. So this person, Fibonacci, has concluded that this series could be the signature of God. Just like, you have a fingerprint uh, and it's unique to you. Similarly, this Fibonacci series, it should be like the fingerprint of God. That's the conclusion of the scientist who founded this Fibonacci series. I will try to post you this interesting video. You will really love it. Yeah, and what is this? What are you seeing on the presentation?
Satellite.
Satellite, yes. So the satellite, for a satellite to actually remain in space, you know how much of research goes behind it? It's called the rocket science. It has to be left, cast at a particular velocity. Yeah, it should all contain some particular constitutions of the material with which it is made, and for it to remain in that space at that distance and to be floating in the space, it requires a lot of parameters and balancing of the parameters, and so many scientists have to be sitting in the control room to monitor the movements of this satellite, just to ensure that the satellite is there in that space and it's not colliding with other bodies, and it's sending in the information that we are wanting. So to make one satellite float in the space, so many brains are raking, and there is so many people in the control room who are trying to monitor its movements. Then what about the planets? How are they floating in the space? For a satellite, you're seeing there is so much of manpower behind. Then what about the planets, Earth? Different planets, why they are moving in perfect harmony? We've never heard of one planet walking into the orbit of other and colliding with each other. No, they're all in perfect harmony. So who is controlling those planets? Yeah, as I said, these satellites have a 24 hours round the clock monitoring. What are these various parameters they're taking care of? The orientation, spin, velocity, Earth satellite distance, etc., etc. That's why this is called rocket science. It takes a lot of intelligent research to actually make a satellite float. Yeah, a little bit here and there, we've heard of so many disasters. right? In the news, how so many rockets have failed and so many people have even died. So what about this Earth? What's making the Earth float, move about its space without being, you know, distracted? Who's in control of the movements of the Earth? Yeah. So as I said, these are further details about the speed around the sun. So who is in control of all these planets? So behind the design is a designer. Yeah. So just basically like in the traffic control, if the traffic policemen were to be out, so all the traffic, if people go, you know, come from all the different four directions and they collide with each other. Why they're not colliding? Because there is a traffic policeman. So why these planets are not colliding? So that implies behind the design, there is a designer. So what is the next one?
Energy.
Yeah, behind the energy is the energetic.
Energetic.
Exactly. So let's talk about the most energetic object that we have ever seen. The most energetic object is the sun that we see every day. Every day we see the sun, right? The sunrise. What's the amount of energy that it's producing? Unimaginable. So the energy emitted by the sun per second is amount of energy consumed by human race throughout the entire human history. This is a small depiction of what can be the energy of the sun. Every second it is producing energy that is equal to or greater than the energy consumed by the entire human race throughout the history. That's how much energy it's producing every second. So from where is the sun getting this energy? Yeah, there is a beautiful verse in Sri Brahma Samhita. Yachakshureva sahi savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rasesha teja yasya gaya brahmati samvrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So basically, if you turn to the Vedas, you get answers to all these questions. I mean, that will be the third session that will come much later. The detailed answers to all this. But then there is something called the Vedic cosmology. It's the most hot topic. For example, the entire space, the research about the space, it goes on in NASA. NASA is world famous. All of you might have heard of it, right? And do you know that in NASA, there is a whole big section that is dedicated exclusively for Sanskrit study. Sanskrit study means there are Sanskrit scholars there who are trying to decode from the Vedas the details about the cosmology. And they're giving the details to these, the NASA scientists. And that's how they are learning it. NASA, which is present in America, the most famous. Because the amount of details that are present in Vedic cosmology, it's mind-boggling. It's entire understanding of the details of the universe, and many a times, the the kind of measures that are given in the Vedic cosmology is exactly equal to the measures that are found out by these astronauts. I mean, and these rocket scientists. I'll give you some details of that. Yeah. So this is an example of behind the energy is the energetic. So what is the last one? F stands for?
Flawless laws.
Behind the flawless laws
Flawless lawmaker.
is the lawmaker. This is the most interesting.
Lawmaker.
Lawmaker. So if we just look at the world around you. Yeah, everything is moving on and it's following certain laws, be it the seasons, right from your childhood. You must be 18 years now, 18 and 16, 15, 16, 17 or 18 years, right? All of you are? Yeah. 17, 18 years nunchi, you all have been observing the seasons. Summer tarvata, what comes is the rainy tarvata winter. Actually, there are 6 seasons.
Rain.
Yes. Then there is spring, there is autumn, then there is again summer. Sharad, Grishma, Hemanta, Shishira. There are 6 seasons according to the Vedic understanding. So all these come in an order. Yeah, as if they're following some law. So whenever you go to college, there is a particular time that you have your college starts. At what time your college starts?
9.
9 a.m. 9 a.m. to
4.
4 p.m. So 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Saturday every day. So it's a law and all of you are following that law, right? And that's how your whole college is functioning. But who made that law? There should be some person, there is a management board who come together and they form that law, right? So behind the laws that you're following, there is a lawmaker. Or for example, you're going on the road, red signal, stop, green signal, go. And if you violate this signal, you will be punished. Yes, these are the laws. So how did these laws come? These laws came about because there is a governance and there is a person, a policy maker, a lawmaker behind. And they have set the laws and we are following the laws. So behind the laws are the lawmaker, is the lawmaker. Yeah. So, and also there are laws of driving. If any of you know how to drive, in India, it is keep left. In US, it's keep right. Yeah. So most of the doctors, they love to write their USMLE and practice in US. So it's, if you, in US, if you're driving a car, you always should keep right. So who made this law again? In India, it's made by the Indian Traffic Police, and in America, it's the American Traffic Police. So there's a person behind the laws that we are following. Of course, you all like the IPL matches, right? So there are, how many overs are there in a test match?
20.
Test match.
50.
90 overs, ma'am.
In a one day?
50. 50.
Yes, in a one day, there are 50 overs. And in IPL?
20.
2020, right?
20.
Yes, 20 overs. So who made these laws? Who makes the laws for Indian cricket team? You know the board, the famous board?
BCCI.
BCCI, excellent. Yes, BCCI. That's the lawmaking body of the Indian cricket team, or ICC, International Cricket Council. So of course, we all know this famous Mendeleev's periodic table, right? So all these elements are assigned based on their
Atomic number.
atomic number or atomic mass.
Atomic mass.
Yeah, atomic mass. So it is, they all follow a particular progression, arrangement. This is called Mendeleev's periodic table. And they all follow a particular law. What is that law? Mendeleev's periodic law, right? And how did that law came? It was made by Mendeleev. And all our scientists are very much eager to put their names behind the laws. Can you name some laws that we have studied in physics or chemistry?
Laws of tides.
Laws of? Newton's laws of motion. Any more laws?
Gauss law.
Okay.
Doppler shift.
Faraday's law.
Okay. Doppler's effect, right? Okay, Faraday's law.
Faraday's laws.
Yes, for Faraday's laws. There are also principles like Archimedes' principles. Yeah. So all these Archimedes or Newtons or Faradays, they're all the names of the scientists who've made these laws, right? They want to be doubly sure that their name is, evergreen in history for the laws that they have made. Of course, they do deserve the credit. But behind the laws is the lawmaker. They didn't happen just like that. That's the reason they all have given their names behind their laws. A chemical elements arrangement is the periodic law, and it's not a chance. Yeah, so as I said, the laws of physics. Which law is this?
Newton's law.
Newton's law, exactly. That's how he has discovered, right? Law of gravitation. The apple fell down and he discovered that there should be some gravitational force because of which this apple fell down. And that's how he has discovered the law of gravity. What's the difference between discovery and invention?
Discovery is knowing what is there.
Mm-hmm. And what is invention?
Creating a
Invention is what
which
we
is
do.
not at all present.
Very good. So discovery means the very word discover. The discovered and you're discovering. It's already there. You're discovering. Like Columbus has discovered America. So America was already existing, but he went and discovered it. Invention means like James Watt has invented an electric bulb. It's an invention, which was not there before, but he has invented it. So that's why this course is discover yourself. That means you're not inventing something new, but what you are truly, you are trying to discover yourself. It's discover. That's discovery. Grand. Okay, so there are many laws of physics, and every law states that behind the law is a lawmaker. Yeah, these are laws of optics. Yeah, the convex lens and the concave lens and the prism effect. We have learned this in our physics, right? The reflection, the laws of reflection, the laws of refraction. Then there are laws of thermodynamics, laws of heat transfer. So these are the laws of the world. In the macro world, there are also precise mathematical laws, like the laws of, as I said, there are some cosmic laws. That the Earth actually moves around the orbit at a particular angle, at a particular velocity. Yeah, so many rotations and so many revolutions. Yeah, so many rotation in 24 hours. It makes one rotation. In 365 days. Yeah, in 365 days, 1/4. It makes one revolution. That makes 1 year. So these are all the laws at the macro world. And they're impeccable laws. The same thing happens so precisely, yeah, at precise intervals. So isn't that whenever like you see that there are laws that we are following, there is a lawmaker behind. Just like you're going to your college at 9 a.m., that means somebody has made that law. Similarly, every day there is a sunrise at a particular time, sunset at a particular time. The nature is following so many laws and so precisely. Isn't there a lawmaker behind the laws of nature? That's a thing to be thought. So that's about the mastermind behind the mysterious universe. So this talks about flawless laws means a lawmaker. So we are done with our observation. So there is also thinking. Let's look into the world around us. There are some people who are beautiful, really beautiful. Yeah, we often like some of your display pics. I see some movie actors and actresses. Why we are so fascinated about some heroines or some fascinated about some heroes? because they look very handsome or beautiful. Yeah. Why is it somebody looks like, let's say Prabhas, and why somebody looks like, who's the ugliest person? Babu Mohan. I don't know if you know who is Babu Mohan. Who is a famous comedian of late? Sunila. Everyone, the latest comedian, no? Yes? Yes? Somebody wrote something? Kavya, can you help me read?
Vanilla Krishna.
Vanilla. Vanilla Krishna. Poor thing, he's not bad probably. Somebody who looks really undigestible. कौन है वो? Okay. Generally, beside the heroine, there is somebody, no, somebody who's very fat. I don't know what is that lady's name. Generally, she comes often in the movies. So why is that somebody looks like uh, Kajal Agarwal and somebody looks like that fat lady? Yeah, why is somebody beautiful and why is somebody ugly? Somebody wrote something in the chat box. They wrote some other name.
Ramesh Babu they wrote, ma'am.
Ramesh Baba. Okay, I'm poor at
Pune.
Everamma?
Sampurnesh Babu.
Evaru?
Sampurnesh Babu.
Sampurnesh Babu. Okay. So basically, I don't know who he is. You can probably post a picture in our DYS group. I'm not getting the name. So, I mean, I'm not very so much into the latest movies, so you'll be knowing it better. But the idea is, why is somebody so beautiful and why somebody looks so ugly? Is it just happening by chance? You know, why is somebody so handsome and why is somebody, not handsome at all? Why is it somebody whom we really like to see so much or put their pictures in our display? Why somebody is not handsome? Why is somebody so rich and why is somebody so poor? Yeah, you just go out in the road. Of course, these days we're not going out on the road so much. But if you go on the road, why, you see somebody is really stinkingly rich. They have so much money and so much wealth. Why is somebody Ambani, Mukesh Ambani, or Anil Ambani? And why is somebody a beggar on the street? Is there any reason? Do you think it's just hard work in one lifetime that made a person what they are? Or is there anything else behind? Yeah, why is somebody a doctor like all of you? Why is somebody so intelligent? And why is somebody a laborer? Yeah. So who is deciding all this? So we choose. We have to see in our life we have control over certain things, or on certain things we don't have a control. What are those things which we have control over? The education. Yes, your choice of education. So of course, it's not true for everybody. Choice of education. I see most of the doctors now, they all have become doctors because their father wanted them to become, or their mother wanted, mostly father. Yeah. My dad wanted me to become a doctor, ma'am. That's why I have become a doctor. So many people tell this after they finish their MBBS. Okay. Especially when it comes to night shifts and, you know, and posting in gynecology department. Everybody tell me this. No, ma'am, no. I became a doctor because my dad told me I don't want this. Okay. So anyway, in education, we do have a choice. We can choose what we want to get into. Of course, this choice works different in different people. Jobs, we have a choice. Yeah, we have a choice on our about our life partner. Okay, some parents have really respect the choice of the girl, and when they're seeing matches also they consult the girl's opinion. So we do have to some degree our exercise of choice in our education or jobs or our life partner, but there are some things about which we have no choice. Okay, car also we have a choice, house also we have choice. But there are things which we cannot choose. Can you tell me some things which we cannot choose, but they are just put on us? Can you guess?
Ma'am,
Appearance.
Endama?
Appearance, ma'am.
Your appearance. Yes, we don't choose our appearance. It comes to us. Yes, anything very intelligent guess. Who said
Our
that?
parents.
Yes, very good. Parents. Who said that?
Navyashree, ma'am.
Navya Shri. Very good. Very, very good. Very thoughtful answer. We cannot choose who our parents should be. It is that we are born to some parents because of certain universal laws that are operating. It is called the laws of karma. We cannot choose how we look, but we are given certain looks because of the laws of karma. We have good karmas in our account. We have beautiful features, like that heroine whom we have seen. Then we don't have good karmas, or we have bad karmas, then we have ugly looks. So these things that we cannot choose, that come to us because of superior laws that are operating, that are beyond our control, which are called the laws of karma, which I think every Indian is very familiar with. Yeah, our parents, as one of you rightly said, the face shape or the face cut or the face complexion or the body structure, etc., etc. Yeah, we don't have a control over this. And even our intelligence, it has been gifted to us. Yeah, some of us are very intelligent. Why is that? People get different ranks in the NEET. Of course, hard work, and also to a certain degree, what impacts is the intelligence, and we don't have control over that. It comes to us, and how it came about, why somebody very intelligent, again, it's a loss of karma. So who chooses and on what basis? So behind the lawmaker is the law. Laws are the lawmaker. And so how can these be simply random events, like somebody being beautiful, somebody ugly, somebody being rich, somebody being poor? It's not happening randomly. It is just that it has come to them because of a concept called karma. And how is the laws of karma operating? It is given very clearly in Bhagavatam. Dharmam tu kshakshat bhagavat pranitam. That is karmana daivanetrena. All the karmas are happening by the daivanetra. The Lord is the supervisor of all these karmic laws. Yeah, karmana daivanetrena. So behind the laws, who is present? The lawmaker. Yes, that's your observation. Now, okay, till now we have seen with our own observation the universe around us. We have seen how behind the artist, behind the artistry that we are seeing in this world, there should be an artist. Behind the beautiful organization we are seeing in this world, there should be an organizer. Behind the creation, there should be a creator. Behind the design, the design of even the small DNA molecule, or the various the ways, the inflorescence, how they're all perfectly beautifully designed. Behind the designs, there should be a designer. Behind the energy, there is an energetic person, and behind the flawless laws, there is a lawmaker. This is our observation. Okay, let's see what is the scientist's observation. Because why we are taking into account the scientist's observation? Because scientists are indeed specially gifted because they've done a lot of research into a particular field, and they have come with certain conclusion. They have in fact dedicated their whole life, their energies and their intelligence into researching deep into a subject matter. So after the research, what are certain observations they have made? Because these observations are invaluable to us, because these are the conclusion they came to after a lot of research work they have done. Let us see some examples of what are the observations of the scientists. Who is this famous scientist? Albert Einstein. Yeah. And what is his observation? He said, there is a perfect brain behind all the natural physical laws. Who is saying this? Albert Einstein. That is his conclusion after all the research that he has done. So I'll show you more. Who is this? Schrodinger. Yes, Schrodinger's wave theory. We all have learned, right, in physics. So he writes a big. I mean, you can go through this sometime when you're free. But what he's saying that science cannot answer all the questions. In fact, where science stops, spirituality begins. This is what is the conclusion of many a scientist. Yes. So this is Schrodinger's opinion, and there is Lord Kelvin. If you think strongly enough, this is a wonderful quote. If you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. I'll tell you, there is a team of great researchers. This is one of the latest research that has been done on the tail of the bacterium. You know, they have done 40 years of research to find out the structure of the tail of a bacterium. And they did come up with the structure. But the conclusion is that it cannot be that this structure has come about on its own with such perfect way of the way it is designed. There should be an intelligent designer who has designed this. It cannot have happened just on its own. But imagine they spent 40 years in just understanding the tail of a bacterium. But you know, if you take the uh, shelter of Vedas, very clearly written, it's written in one line that all the creation is taking place because the Lord is creator. It's written in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So this is what Lord Kelvin is saying. So yeah, the story of Isaac Newton, I told you, about this model of the solar system. This is what it is. So he said, yeah, I told you about the experiment. And here there's Max Born. He said that I saw in it, the atom, the key to the deepest secret of nature. And it revealed to me, the greatness of the creator. So this is a conclusion of a chemist who has done a lot of research. And here is a great mathematician, Ramanujan. An equation for me has no meaning unless it represents a thought of God. These are the most famous mathematicians and scientists speaking about the presence of God. And here is Heisenberg, as I said, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which we all have learned. He said that there is a higher power not influenced by our wishes, which finally decides and judges. These are not ordinary people. Yeah, they have gone deep into scientific study, and this is the conclusion they have come out with. So that is why we need to take into account the scientist's observation. Yeah, Michael Faraday, one of you has said, Faraday's laws. What is he saying? We ought to value the privilege of knowing God's truth far beyond anything we can have in this world. This is what Michael Faraday is talking about. So this is a scientist's observation. So next, after having done our observation, the scientist's observation, take these two things into account. Yeah. And now let's come up with a question. What are the questions? Okay, now I'm asking you the question. Kaun banega karodpati? Question 1. What is the origin of this universe? Can anybody answer?
Big Bang.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang.
Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Okay.
Big Bang.
Any other answers?
Intelligent design.
By chance.
Okay, somebody saying by chance. Okay. Any other?
Intelligent design. Somebody saying.
Who said intelligent design? Okay, now each of you should.
Galaxy.
Okay, each of you will explain your answer why. Okay, somebody said Big Bang. Tell me why Big Bang. Why do you think it's Big Bang, which is the origin of the universe? Because we learned it in our textbook. Tell me. Huh? We wrote many MCQs, na?
teacher.
Endama? Yeah, somebody said Big Bang. Tell me why it is Big Bang. And what is the Big Bang theory? Chipra, who said that? Who told Big Bang? That's okay. As I said, it's a casual discussion. I'm not going to give you any marks or scores or credits or anything. It can be a casual talk. What makes you think it is Big Bang? Why did you say Big Bang? Okay, somebody said by chance. Why is it by chance? Okay, any of you who have answered any question, can you give a backup why? Why you gave that answer?
Hello, ma'am. I
Yes.
think when I'll send Telugu.
Jepra, Telugu is absolutely fine.
మ్యామ్ ఎప్పుడైతే సన్ కి ఒక స్టోన్ టైప్ లో వచ్చి తగిలిందో అప్పుడు ఒక పీస్ వచ్చి బయటపడింది. తర్వాత సన్ నుంచి చాలా దూరం వెళ్ళి టెంపరేచర్ వల్ల కూల్ అయిపోయి ఒక ప్లేస్ గా మారిపోయింది. అది ఎర్త్ లాగా తయారయ్యి దాంట్లో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అన్ని ఎవాల్వ్ అయ్యాయని నా అభిప్రాయం. సో ఐ థింక్ ఇట్స్ బై ఛాన్స్.
No, so it is your opinion. అది నీ అభిప్రాయమా?
ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
ఈ సన్ నుంచి ఒక ముక్క బయటికి రావడము, అది కూల్ అయిపోయి ఎర్త్ అవ్వడం ఎక్కడైనా చదివిందా లేకపోతే అది ఇట్స్ యువర్ ఓన్ ఒపీనియన్?
ఒకసారి నేను విన్నాను మ్యామ్.
ఓకే, కెన్ యూ కోట్ ద సోర్స్? ఎక్కడ మీరు వినింది అది?
నో, నాకు గుర్తులేదు మ్యామ్.
గుర్తులేదు. ఓకే. Actually, there are many theories about the origin of the universe. So this might be one other such theory. Good enough. Nice explanation. So
థ్యాంక్
మరి
యూ మ్యామ్.
సో మరి మీరు ఆ సన్ నుంచి వచ్చింది అని ఆ థియరీ చెప్పినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ అగైన్ వై ఇట్ ఇస్ బై ఛాన్స్?
బై ఛాన్స్ ఒక స్టోన్ తగలడం వల్ల ఒక పీస్ వచ్చింది అని నా ఫీలింగ్ మ్యామ్.
Okay, it's your feeling. Okay, fine. Fair enough. So it is by chance. Anything more? Any other? Anybody else? Everana inkevarana you want to back up your theory? Your answer?
Ma'am,
Yes.
intelligent design is behind Big Bang, ma'am.
Okay.
Means cooling down of the universe is also a law, ma'am.
Mm.
So it is ultimately designed by some laws. That's why Big Bang has occurred and the universe have been started.
Okay. How it started?
There
Because
was an
of the Big Bang.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So you're saying it is because of Big Bang, that is the
And
universe.
it is controlled by the laws of the universe, ma'am.
Okay.
Ultimately.
It is controlled by the laws of the universe.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First, initially there was a bang. ఆ తర్వాత laws of universe play లోకి వచ్చేసినాయి.
Initially there was laws, ma'am. Laws exist and
Hmm.
due to the explosion, the laws have come into play and universe have evolved.
Okay. So that is your understanding about the Big Bang. Fine. Any more? Very good. Who said that?
Madhushri, ma'am.
Madhushri. Okay. So Madhushri is saying Big Bang, and somebody said about the by chance. Any more answers? And can you explain your answers? Yes. చెప్పండమ్మా. ఎవరో ఇంటెలిజెంట్ డిజైన్ అని చెప్పారు. కెన్ ఎనీబడి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ వై?
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Yes.
intelligent design. For example, if you take an aeroplane, so behind the construction of an aeroplane, we are having a scientist. So scientist is having the intelligence and the brain. He is using his intelligence and brain to design the aeroplane. So this is the only aeroplane which is going in the air, and it is very small when we compare to the whole universe. So, but this is a big universe where we having n number of planets, stars, constellations, galaxies. So certainly there is an intelligence behind this creation.
Okay.
It is not formed either by some sudden accident or sudden explosion. It cannot be formed. Only for giving a birth to a child or any living entity, there is so much of process going on. It's not formed suddenly exploding and suddenly a baby is formed. It's not like that. There is a systematic formation of a baby in the womb. We can take that example. So it's only a baby. But this is a big universe where we are having many lakhs of, like, if we go 84 lakh species of these species of living entities. So it is not just formed by single explosion. That cannot be. Certainly there is an intelligence behind that formation.
Okay. So we have 3 different answers and 3 different backing up logics behind each of the answer. So let us go into the details. So let us try to understand the Big Bang theory itself. So what does the Big Bang theory state? Does anybody know exactly what is the Big Bang theory? Does anybody remember? Physics law, I think we have studied about the Big Bang theory, or geography, I guess. Yes, the Big Bang theory states that the universe came about from a infinitesimally small point of infinite temperature and infinite density. Yeah, the universe has came about from a point that is came about from a infinitesimally small, ante inkadi chala chala chinnadannమాట. You can't even calculate the measurement. Anta chinna point of infinite density and of infinite temperature. How is that point anta? Which is mathematically unverifiable. Dani verify cheyalem. I'll give you the exact law. Okay, the answer is intelligent design. I will explain you why. Let's see what is the Big Bang theory. Yeah, this is the Big Bang theory. So everything began from a point of infinite temperature, infinite density, of infinitesimal size that is physically indescribable, mathematically unverifiable, and beyond all conceptions of space and time. This is what this Big Bang theory exactly is all about. And this is a theory that made its way even into our textbooks. Even in our textbooks long back, this Big Bang theory has found its place to explain the origin of universe. But this particular theory has been removed from the textbooks in USA because it is a very highly improbable means of explaining the origin of universe. It is said by Encyclopedia Britannia that it should be emphasized that no theory of the origin of solar system has yet won general acceptance, because this is simply an understanding of a particular scientist, but he has no evidence to it, no basis to it, and it did not gain any acceptance amongst the scientific field. There are a lot of scientists who oppose this Big Bang theory because it is a very highly improbable. See, they involve highly improbable assumptions. You're just assuming that there is a point of infinite density and it exploded, and it is physically indescribable. I cannot describe how it is, and it cannot be mathematically verified also, and it is beyond conceptions of space and time, and it's just somebody's mental speculation. So that is why it did not gain any acceptance even in the field of scientists. That is why it has been even removed from our textbooks. This is the story of Big Bang theory, which is so popular. We all know that origin of universe means Big Bang theory, but no, this theory has not gained acceptance. It was rejected by the scientists. And it has been even removed from the textbooks. Another simple common sense. We have heard about so many explosions, right? Sometimes the bomb explosion jarigindi apatlo Bombay. Or sometimes we hear, you're all at Karnool and Kadapa, right? Our areas, sometimes there are some bomb explosions. So whenever there is an explosion, or we have this famous bomb explosions of Hiroshima and Nagasaki back in the year, I think 1970, 1950s, during the time of Second World War. Yeah, on exactly August 6th and August 7th, these 2 days, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. At that time, these atom bombs have exploded. So whenever you have heard of so many explosions, whenever there is an explosion, did you ever see anything beautiful coming out of it? Simple question, straight question. Whenever there is an explosion, is there anything beautiful? Antenduku man Deepavali kalche atom bombs, seam tapakailu, explosion. You saw an explosion, right? Explosion though, did you see anything beautiful coming out of it?
No, ma'am.
No. Then how is it that with this so-called explosion, which is the mental speculation of some scientists, a beautiful thing like this earth with such beautiful greenery, beautiful flowers, beautiful, mountains, beautiful seas, all something, earth is beautiful place, right? So how did something so beautiful come out of an explosion? Is it believable? That's simple common sense. In the history of the world, nothing beautiful has ever come out of explosions. So how can we believe that because of an explosion, this earth has come about? Simple common sense. So it cannot be Big Bang theory. Big Bang theory is not accepted anymore, even in the scientific fields. It's been removed from textbooks. And the next is chance theory. Somebody said it could have happened by chance. See, chance, nothing happens by chance. Everything happens because of a reason. For a reason, for a purpose. Nothing can be purposeless. Even the theory of heads or tails, that, we put a coin and, we fling it up. Sometimes it is head, sometimes it is tail, right? We play this game oftentimes. Yeah, bomma borisani ardam. Even that cannot happen by chance. It is because it is flung in a particular direction with a particular speed and with a particular angle. It is falling in that direction as a head or a tail. If you use a machine to do that, and if you're always putting the same parameters of direction, of velocity, of the pressure, everything, if you put these parameters constant, every time it falls the same, either head or tail. So that is also not happening by chance. So nothing in this universe happening by chance happens by chance. Chance theory is rejected as well. So yeah, that was a question. The origin of the universe, it's neither Big Bang theory nor by chance. Of course, Big Bang is just a funny thing. It is intelligent design. That's what we have been learning all this while. Behind the entire design is a designer. There is an intelligent designer behind this entire cosmos who is actually doing everything. That's the essence of our whole class, in fact. Next question. What is the purpose? What is its purpose? Yeah, anybody can answer this? What is the purpose of this universe? If this universe has been created by an intelligent design. So next question is, what is the purpose? Is something created just like that, or does it have any purpose? Just for example, just look at the things around you on your own table. Everything has a purpose. Now you just look up on your ceiling. There is a fan. It has a purpose to give air. There is light. It has a purpose to give light. Yeah, there is a laptop. There is a phone. There is a book. There is a water bottle. Everything has a purpose. Everything that you're looking around has a purpose. Then how is it that universe will not have a purpose? It should have some purpose, na? So what is the purpose of the universe? Any guesses? Oh, it's 5:35. So we'll end the class in another 5 minutes. What's the answer to this? Anybody wants to answer this? A, eat, sleep, and be merry. B, kabhi kushi kabhi gum. C, no purpose. D, to understand God and life. What is the purpose?
To understand God and life.
It's the most obvious thing. Yeah, lock kiya jaye. So, crorepati. So what is the origin of the universe and what is its purpose? These are the $2 million questions. These are the two questions behind which so many philosophers, so many scientists have broken their head to understand these two questions. And today you just got these answers just like that. All glories to the Vedic understanding about life. These are the two basic questions that are answered in the very beginning of the Vedic studies. What is the origin of this universe and what is its purpose? And of course, if you see from a scientific point of view, how can you understand this? For example, I will tell you, tomorrow you go to your chemistry lab. Okay, because you're medicos right now, biochemistry lab. First year subjects, right? Physiology and biochemistry. So biochem, you go into the lab and all of a sudden you see a big machine over there. Then you ask the person there, right? What is this machine? Then if the person in charge, he says that this machine, it came on its own and it has no purpose. Will you take that as an answer? No, no intelligent person can take that answer. This machine has been made by somebody and it has come here and should have some purpose, right? When you see any machine, that's the two things that we understand. So have you ever seen any complicated machine that has come by chance and has no purpose? Can you think of any machine like that? A fully complex machine with all the nitty-gritties of how it works? No. Yeah, so everything has its purpose. So how come such a complex machine like this universe, how could it come on its own and have no purpose? Highly impossible, right? Yes, so that is the understanding of our class today. Yes, and also we see that there's an activity which is not possible right now. We also see the governments all around us. Just like there is home ministry, there is law and order, health ministry, the ministry of energy, finance ministry, defense and education. We see all these this is national government. You see a similar government in the universe also. Just like home ministry means, there are some do's and don'ts that are given in the Shastras. There is law and order. Like if you do excessive drinking, there is liver problem. If you are into excessive smoking, there is some kind of a punishment to all the bad things that you do. These are the laws. Then there is health ministry. Similarly, in universal government, there is Ayurvedic herbs. It's Ministry of Energy. Yeah. Electricity and lighting. The universal government, there is sun and moon. Finance ministry, there is currency. And universal government, there are natural resources like gold, silver, and all that. Just like there is defense ministry. So there is ozone and there is immunity in the body, which is so much spoken about right now, immunity and its enhancement to fight corona. This is universal government. And just like in the national government, there is education. There is universal government, which gives us the Vedas, the Bible, or the Quran. So there is so much of similarity between national government and the universal government, if we just reflect over it. So what is the lesson that we can learn from the universal government. Behind every government, there is a prime minister. And behind the universe, there is the God. So our entire government, it's not running on its own, right? There's a person, there's a prime minister behind it, Narendra Modi. Similarly, behind the universal government, there is somebody called God. This is the logical understanding. Yeah. So it is our, just like a law-abiding citizen reaps all the benefits. Similarly, the person who abides by the laws of nature is well situated in this world, doesn't suffer the pangs of miseries. So with it, and this is not somebody's thought process, it is given in Bhagavad Gita himself, where Krishna is telling, Matta paradram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Mayi sarvamivam eva sutre manigana iva. I am holding all these universes, just like the string holds the different pearls. So you all have pearl necklaces, right? So how are all these pearls held together? It is because there is a string running inside. Similarly, Lord Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, God, that all these universes are held in their position because I am holding them with my energy. And all of them are resting upon me. So that's the understanding about how these. Yeah. So what is our prime duty after having understood this? It is obedience to the laws of God. Fine. So that's the end of the session today. And so this is session 2. Yeah, so that will be the session 2. So there is truth, but how do we access that? How do we access the truth beyond the 4 defects? And what are those 4 defects? We will learn in the next session. So thank you all very much. Thank you for your eager participation. Now I'll quickly take 1 or 2 questions. Anybody has any questions? I will just stop sharing the screen. I will just show my video. Yes. Yes, thank you all very much. Please tell me if you have any questions or queries based on today's session. How did you find it? ఎవరికైనా ఏమైనా questions? Silence means you have either understood everything or you did not understand anything. What should I think it is? Okay, we'll go through a quick summary of the class. So what are the things that we have learned in the class? Summarizing. We have learned about your observation. What are the 6 aspects of your observation? The A, B, C, D, E, F. Behind the artistry is an artist. Behind, what is B?
Beautiful organization.
Behind beautiful organization is an organizer. Yes, and C?
Creation.
Is a creator. Okay. So can you remember some examples we have discussed in beautiful organization?
Beehive.
Beehive, excellent. Any more?
Spider.
Spider web, wonderful. Any more?
Ants.
Ants, very nice. Any more?
Cocoon.
Cocoons, yes. Silkworm and cocoon, yes.
Beavers.
Beavers, yes, Australian beavers, excellent. So these are the things which we have learned in B for beautiful organization. And C for creation. Yeah, behind the creation is a creator. What are some examples we have seen in this?
Alignment of planets in the universe.
Okay. Any more?
Newton's story.
Yes, Newton's story about the macrocosmos. Wonderful. What does D stand for?
Design.
Design. Behind the design is a designer. What are some examples we saw in this?
Beautiful, ugly.
Yeah, that is more of laws, right? Beautiful and ugly comes in laws and lawmaker. Designer?
Painting.
Skyscrapers.
Huh?
Sequoia plant.
Sequoia
Tall,
dendron gigantica. Yes. The
tall buildings.
tall buildings. Excellent. Very good. Tall buildings is about creation, the creator behind the creation, actually. Sequoia dendron gigantica is the designer behind the design. Any more? At a micro level of design, what we saw?
DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. At the macro level, we have seen the cosmos.
Cosmos.
Yes. And E. E for energy. Yeah. E for energy. What is the example we have seen in E?
Sun.
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 Yeah. Anybody remembers what is the energy of the sun? The amount of energy emitted per second is greater than?
Used by the human throughout the history.
Yeah, wonderful. Very good.
Entire
Yes, yes, yes. Varshini, yes. Very nicely said. Does anybody remember what is the capacity of this brain?
Brain can fit a total library of 12.
Yeah, the brain has a capacity which is more than what the entire libraries of the whole world can hold. Yeah, the capacity more than that. Imagine what is the information that the libraries of the whole world can have. You cannot even imagine that amount. And the brain has capacity more than that. Not just one library, but the libraries of all the world. Yes, that's the capacity of the brain. Okay, then the final one, F stands for behind
Flawless laws.
is who?
Lawmaker.
Lawmaker. So what are some examples we have seen in this?
The perfect design of the human.
Design. Yeah, that's designer. Yeah, behind the design, there is a designer. Law. Now laws. We're talking about
Rich,
laws.
poor.
Yeah.
Mandalay.
Mendeleev's periodic
Law.
law. Yes. Any more?
Law of optics.
Law of optics. Yes.
Microwave.
What is it?
Gravity.
Law of gravity. Yes. So these are all universal laws.
Macro.
Yeah, at the macro level, we also saw some laws of
Governor in this world.
okay, governance in this world. Okay, wonderful. Good correlation. So in all these examples, we have seen how behind the laws is the lawmaker, just like how in your college, the laws that you're following, behind that is a lawmaker. Somebody remembers the example of satellite? What does that indicate? Is it A, B, C, D, E, or F?
Design.
Not exactly design.
Creation.
Yeah, it comes under creation. Yes, creation. Satellite is a creation of the human. Similarly, what about the earth? Who created earth? There has to be a person behind the creation. Very good. So you all remember what we have done today. It's the observation of ourself. And then we have done what is the observation of the scientists. Can you name some of the famous scientists whose quotes we have read today?
Albert Einstein.
Einstein, yes.
Schrodinger.
Schrodinger,
Isaac
yes.
Newton.
Isaac Newton, yes.
Heisenberg. Max Born.
Heisenberg, yes.
Kelvin.
Kelvin, wonderful. Yes. I will try to
Max
send
Born.
Max. Excellent, excellent. So I will try to send you all these quotes also in the group. Okay. So after that, we came to two questions. What were the $2 million question? What's the question one?
What is the
What is
origin
the
of the
origin of the
universe?
universe?
What is the origin of the universe? And what is the second $1 million
What is
question?
its
Origin.
purpose?
Origin of universe.
What's the origin? What is
What is the purpose?
purpose? Excellent. What is the origin of the universe? And what is the purpose of this universe? Amazing. So you got the entire class. So now, whatever you have understood, whatever you have heard, just think about it deeper, because these are very, very, very deep, higher truths. It takes time to process them, assimilate them, understand them, and have a grasp of them. So try to reflect over them. And if you have any questions, please post them in the group. We will try to discuss. And all the videos that are there, I will try to post them in the group. So thank you all very much. We will meet next week, next Sunday, 4 p.m. Yes, anybody has something to say? Okay, so I'm signing off for today. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, Rajesh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Nice
you.
day.
Thank you all. Yes, have a nice day too. Have a nice day, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Very happy to be with all of you. Okay, so I will end the meeting. Take care. We'll meet next week.
Okay.